this. Chop the onions. It's more like sliced onions. Once the pan is thoroughly hot, melt the butter and then add our slices of onion and saute the onion off until it's like golden brown. Then we're going to, midway we're going to add 2 tablespoons or tablespoon of garlic, and then either garlic cloves or so we're using this because we don't have any garlic cloves. You got to use what you got, and we're trying to follow this recipe kind of to a T this time. So now we're chopping up the onions. I did make a little bit of a mistake in reading. So just taking all my onions, turning them, giving them a nice little chop. The easier way of doing this is once you cut an onion in half, just make some slits in the onion, and then turn your onion sideways and chop your onion up, instead of doing what I'm doing right now. Which is technically turning the onion sideways and chopping at it right now. So sometimes we make mistakes. That's life. You can stop one. Butter. Once that turns into liquid, we're going to add our garlic to give it that flavor. Two tablespoons garlic, roughly. And also after tossing the egg in. Using a seed. So we're going to let that sit and cook for a little bit, and while that's cooking, which we want to keep our eye on it, we're going to make sure we have the right ingredient. Because we have only half the ingredients, we're using half a teaspoon. Our recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of margarine. We're using margarine leaves. We're still sticking with our 2 eggs though. Already tossed them in the container and already tossed the margarine in the container. Now we're going to beat the eggs and the margarine together. This is 2 tablespoons of margarine. So our recipe calls for 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of margarine, 1 tablespoon of thyme, salt and pepper. But what we're going to do is we're going to stick with the 2 eggs, add 1 tablespoon of margarine, add half a tablespoon of thyme, and then a little bit of salt and pepper, because we have less beef than the recipe calls for. So here's our half tablespoon of thyme, lots and lots of thyme, and our second half tablespoon of margarine, and then whisk that together. And I hear my onions screaming over there in the saute pan. And just look around. I'm sure I put them down. So a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Making sure everything's cooking. You don't have to flip everything like that. You can use a wooden spoon. Make sure you're mixing everything. And I do see some big chunks in here. Some strips. That's fine. Make sure everything's cooking evenly. The onions are beginning to turn translucent. Anywho, we had packaged rice here that we boiled in water, put a pot of water on the oven until it started boiling, added the rice, cooked that for roughly 15 minutes. That is equivalent, that one package is equivalent to 2 cups of rice, which our recipe calls for 2 cups of rice. Which actually, for those that don't know, 1 cup of uncooked rice is equivalent to 2 cups of cooked rice. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut open our rice. Toss that in our bowl. We're going to add our meat to this bowl, as well as our eggs, our egg mixture, our seasoned eggs, and then our onions are going to go in as well. So talk about hot concoction. I'm going to use a knife to open this side.
I opened one side.
I'm glad it didn't drip everywhere. Meat out, toss our meat in the bowl, put the package, put our eggy waggy in here. So if I didn't mention this before, we're going to be making stuffed cabbage tomorrow. We're going to be baking that off in the oven. What we're doing now are making the ingredients that are going in the stuffed cabbage. Our onions should be done. And what we will do with this is we will cover this and then put this in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight. This way ingredients have time to come together, bring out a nice delicious flavor. And we'll put them in our cabbage wraps and bake them off tomorrow. Everything just wants to be separated. Just takes some work. It's not like cookie dough. It's not all going to stick together. Maybe over time. There we go. Here comes our cookie dough. You can also put this in grape leaves as well. You could wrap it in phyllo dough or tortillas. I mean, plenty of options. And this is cooked rice, by the way. Gotta make sure the rice is cooked. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this sucker up, toss it in the refrigerator, and let all the ingredients marinate. And then tomorrow we're going to take this out and wrap it up and bake it off. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay safe.